Okay, and one more clip. I think we got it. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Well, wait till you guys see this. You're gonna love it. Wow. Guys, the F-150 is getting old. I mean, I've had it for almost 9 years come this summer, and don't get me wrong, it's been trouble-free. But when you're looking at the new cars that are out there today, you can start to see that it's getting a little long in the tooth. You can start to see that technology has advanced, creature comforts have advanced, and that's how they get you, right? Like they want you to upgrade so you can take advantage of all those things. But thankfully, there's still ways out there that we can take this vehicle and make it feel fresh and modern, and it really isn't going to cost you a whole bunch to do so. One of the ways that we can make the interior fresh and new is by replacing this gauge cluster display. You see, there was 3 that was available at the time that you purchased this. I think there was like a 2-inch center LCD screen. There was one that came with a 4.2-inch, which is what this one has. That was available on all the XLTs. And then the Lariats, the King Ranches, the Platinums, and the Limited, they all received an 8-inch digital display in the middle of their gauge cluster. And we were lucky enough to get one. So this is plug and play minus the exception of a few things that you need to do in ForeScan. We're going to save that for a future episode because I'll be honest, I have no idea how to use ForeScan. So we'll learn that together, but this is definitely something I've been looking forward to. It's actually been in my garage for an embarrassingly long amount of time. So it's time to do this and upgrade the interior. The other area in which we can modernize this interior is that center console. You see, at the time that this came out back in 2018, there was a 4-inch screen that was available that no one liked. And then there was this 8-inch screen that was available on the XLT and up models. And it was great for at the time, but shortly after that, the F-250s and then the F-150s had a 12-inch screen option. The user community has been ablaze with how do we get that and how do we make that fit in this center console. Sure, there's aftermarket options. You can get these Android tablets. They look nice, but I'm always worried about installing something like that. I've had really low success in installing aftermarket goodies like that. So I was waiting for somebody to figure out how to make that 12-inch screen work with this center console. And thankfully, there's big brain people out there like CarABC who figured it out. This is what I'm talking about. Look at it. A 12-inch screen that fits in the center console area. You retain pretty much all of your OEM functionality. It seems pretty straightforward. Basically, you disassemble that center console, you install all of the electrical components onto this, and then you reinstall it back in its place. We're going to figure it out together, but that's kind of the fun of this. It's like adult Lego, right? I mean, at least I hope so. To get started, you first need to remove the center channel speaker. That's pretty easily done. First you pop off the cover, then you undo the clips at the front, and 2 7mm bolts in the back. For the duration of this video, anything that involves screws or bolts we're going to speed through because frankly, that's pretty boring. I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but I get nervous every time I have to disassemble the trim in an interior of a car. It always feels like it's about to break, and then it gives it the last moment. Here we're pulling off the trim for the center console as well as around the shifter area, and then we're disconnecting all of the wires connected to the center console trim piece. Next, we're going to move the trim pieces and the footwells. Remember, there's a 7mm bolt on the driver's side trim piece. Next up, we are removing the AC vent trim pieces. These come out pretty easily. And then disconnect the wiring from behind them. Then we need to disconnect the 8-inch screen, which is held in by 6 bolts. Once the screen's removed, unplug the cables attached to the back of it. And we've relocated. We're inside my office. In front of us, we have all of the pieces from the CarABC kit. The quality of this thing is impressive. I gotta tell you, I just can't wait to get this thing installed. Before we can install the kit, we first need to remove all of the electronics from the existing center console trim piece. Once that's done, all we need to do is reinstall it in the new trim piece and get it in the truck. Here we're taking off the cover that protects the HVAC and radio controls. Then we are carefully removing the ribbon that connects the HVAC and the radio controls together. Next, we're removing the knobs and the buttons for the radio. And lastly, we're removing all of the HVAC controls. Three screws stand between us and disconnecting the control module from the 8-inch screen. Next, let's bring in the head unit from CarABC, reinstall the factory buttons. That blank plate on the right side is definitely going to bother me in the future. Now let's reassemble the radio using the factory dowels, but one of the things that we're not going to reuse, and I'll make sure I cover this in detail later, are the memory buttons for your saved radio stations. And then the HVAC controls. When screwing in all the screws for both of these, I noticed that my unit did not match what was in the instructions. I'm assuming that that's because the instructions were for higher trim models where I still have the manual AC controls. It's not a big deal though, it's pretty straightforward to see what screws go into what holes. Here we're reconnecting the HVAC controls to the head unit. Once reconnected, carefully reinsert the ribbon cables and applying some heat-resistant tape to protect the cable connections. Next, we're applying the backing plate, which is covered with ample heat-resistant tape. And then 3 more screws to connect the main control unit to its mounting bracket. Because my truck doesn't have the trailer controls, I need to use a blank faceplate on this side trim piece. We're back in the truck. We're starting to get things wired up. Now, I always overcomplicate these parts in my head, so I want to make sure I did that first. It was pretty straightforward though. I take this wiring harness that came from CarABC, plugged it in here, plugged it into the original connector here, made sure I plugged in the USB here. Whatever these blue wires are, they look like they go with blue. So now we're at a point where I think I can start connecting up the rest of these. This wire that you see running down here, that's a USB. I'm gonna go feed that over here through the holes into the glove box. Apparently that's for future updates. We'll wait and see, and let's get this installed. It's funny, the F-150 always feels like there's plenty of room in it, except for when you're trying to maneuver and connect all these things together. Putting everything back together wasn't really that hard. There's a lot of wires that you have to reconnect. And then trim pieces that have to go together in a very specific way. Here we are, first startup with the brand new CarABC head unit. I deliberately left the center speaker cover off the top in case there was any need to get behind the head unit and access to the wires. And as you can see, things didn't go exactly as I had hoped. Sync is only displaying on part of the screen, but I was kind of expecting that. According to the instructions, we have to unplug the cable from the back of the display to get it to reset. And we have to do that as many times as it takes for the system to get the memo. So let's figure that out now. And we're waiting. It's not working. Nope.
One eternity later.
I've got it all back together, obviously minus this top piece, but you can see at a first glance it all looks really nice. It all fits together really well. OEM looking and feeling. Impressed with that. But in the instructions, it says startup screen and wiring diagram. If the boot screen displays an 8-inch UI size, you need to disconnect and reconnect plug 1 or 2 and restart the screen. I've done that. I even have muscle memory on where you need to go to unplug the screen. I've done that probably 20 times, and it's not working. And it turns out that you need to be at sync 3.4 in order for your screen to automatically recognize the Lincoln interface and update. Well, I'm not. I just went inside and I downloaded the update to a USB drive. I saw online from Ford that it may take up to 5 minutes for that USB drive to be recognized. So here we are. I'm going to continue to try and update the interface to sync 3.4. So until that, I'm going to leave the top off because I'm going to need to probably unplug this 1 or 2 more times. Here we go.
The next day.
So let's start with the bad. I said yesterday that I didn't have the Sync 3.4 system and that it was going to require me to update to that in order for this screen to work properly. Well, I went on Ford's official website. I downloaded the updates to a USB stick, actually 4 USB sticks. None of them worked. I spent several hours waiting. The screen would go black. AI was telling me,
trust the process, Rob. It's going to come back.
And it never came back. So I went to a website, Sin3 Updater, I believe is what it's called. And the good news is that it eventually worked. That website is pretty awful. I mean, when you go on the website, there's nothing but ads. They're trying to convince you to download something that you don't need. When I went and I clicked on the installer download, a screen popped up that said download. I downloaded it and installed some junky software on my daughter's laptop. I'm a Mac user. I purposely went Mac a long time ago because of these stupid things. And here I was then spending, an extra 15 minutes figuring out how to remove this software so that I could continue with what I was working on. Long story long, it works. I was able to successfully get this done around midnight last night. I wasn't going to stop until I got the screen working. The screen looks beautiful. I'm super excited to get this all put back together. All we have to do is clip on some panels, bolt some bolts in, and we're back ready to rock and roll. And I can't wait to give you the grand reveal. So here we have it, folks. The new 12-inch CarABC screen installed in my 2018 F-150. You can immediately tell that the resolution is a lot better than the 8-inch screen. Everything is sharper. The applications are still snappy. I have an XLT, so there's no new features that are displayed here outside of obviously the changed interface, which is from a Lincoln. And I believe we can change all of that in Forescan, so we'll look into that in the next episode as well. Initial impressions, I love it. This is exactly what I wanted. This feels OEM plus. I think that if anybody got in this truck today, they could not tell that this is an aftermarket system, which again is exactly what I want. CarPlay looks a lot different. Before we had 2 rows of icons, now we have 3, a lot more space to play with here. One of the obvious differences is in the upper right hand corner. You can see that that is a Lincoln logo, which is because it recognizes the screen as a Lincoln screen. So there's a couple caveats or things that I think are worth mentioning. However, this right here, I didn't know that there was going to be a bit of a lip here, and that's different. It doesn't really bother me, but it's just not something that I thought of. Another thing that was something I didn't think of beforehand, but kind of became obvious during the install is there's no CD player here anymore. So I'm glad that I took the CD out before I installed this, or else my Dr. Dolittle soundtrack would sit forever behind the dash here. All of the pieces here, the fit and finish is really nice. Again, I don't think anyone would sit in here and pick this apart as an aftermarket upgrade. It just fits seamlessly with the interior. A few more things. You can see I have a blank plate here. Blank plates drive me nuts. I didn't have a blank plate on my old system, but it's a small price to pay for this upgrade. And then the last thing, something that I'm probably gonna mod because I've seen people do it online, is this. So I use these buttons a decent amount when I'm listening to the radio. I usually listen to Spotify, but when I'm listening to the radio, I tap through these buttons all the time. Granted, you can do that here, but I just do this. This is my thing. The other thing is that this is a play pause button, where in reality it's actually your mode button. Things like that drive me a little bonkers. No one else that would ever drive this truck would have any kind of issue with that. So a couple nuances, a couple little nitpicky things. Otherwise, I am super grateful for CarABC. And in a future video, I'll provide a bit more of a long-term review on what my experience is. But today, it's perfect. Still recording? Okay, cool. And we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and we're waiting. It's not working. Try one more time like this, and then, hello, please? Nope. Try again. Please work. Okay. Well, can't do it from this side. Everything's in the way. Ow. That's backwards. Does this hook into that? Is that what happens? Like this? And what's this hook into? Cool. Great. Awesome. Excellent. Yeehaw. I don't want to do it anymore.